Yes, because it is actually everyone's problem, males, females. But today we are going to stress about the female hair problem because there are reasons why male hair starts receding or getting low, and that is mainly because of certain hormonal imbalances, typically testosterone. Okay, but we will talk today most about female hair issues. So now let us start by one basic question. What do you think your hair is made up of? Let's chat a little bit. Let's engage a little bit. What do you think our hair is made up of? Tanvi is writing keratin, iron. Exactly. All of you are right in that sense, right? Yeah, someone wrote creatinine. Okay. No, not creatinine, but protein, yes. And this is typically the protein that we call as keratin. Keratin is actually not a live protein, it's more of a dead protein. But your hair shaft, when it comes out of the shaft, it is made up of the dead protein. Now, keratin, understand, is basically made of two major proteins, one essential amino acid, one non essential. There's a reason I'm giving science here, and I'm going to come to solutions very fast. So, essential amino acid is methionine, non essential is cysteine. The combination of these two proteins makes keratin. Your keratin is produced by the body naturally, so it's called keratinocytes, and from there the keratin production starts. Now, which simply means one thing, right? When there is not enough keratin, hair will be impacted. Whether hair growth is impacted, whether hair strength is impacted, whether hair size is impacted, density is impacted, depends on different aspects of the hair growth cycle that we are in. There is something called hair growth cycle, Vinay. Now, when you look at the hair growth cycle, you go through different phases. For first phase is the anagen phase, you know. Yes, Vinay, thank you for sharing. The first phase is the anagen phase, which where you look at the growth period. Now, it doesn't mean only the hair grows when you're born. No, hair grows throughout your life. Okay, so it's growing phase. There are different phases. Growth phase is there for a few months. Then you get into the catagen phase, which is the resting phase. Then you go into telogen, which is basically, sorry, catagen is a transitional period from anagen to telogen period, which is the resting phase. And last is the shedding phase, what we call as exogen. Every hair follicle will go through these 4 cycles. Okay. And each cycle has its own period that it takes. And again, that is impacted by your body and what nutrients your body provides to the hair. Okay. Now, what happens is when you provide these nutrients, we have to understand that these nutrients have to be of the best quality. Otherwise, we just taking in food for the sake of taking in doesn't mean, yeah, exogen means exit, right? So it exits from the body. That's when you see exactly the hair falling, and we all see that all the time. Now, when we take in these nutrients, they have to be of the best quality. Now, if I say that first your hair needs protein, it needs keratin, and keratin is composed of two essential amino acids, one essential, one non-essential. That means we need to take that from outside source. Body doesn't produce it, right? So if you have to take it from outside source, which means we have to take it from our food. Now, time and again, we have always told you what are the good sources of proteins. Definitely eggs. I'm a vegetarian. You will not find it in my house. So I have to doubly make it up with different protein combinations. So one is yogurt, one other is milk-based products that we have. Paneer, I have tofu in another box. I want to show you all these foods for the simple reason that it's essential to take this every single day. It has to be a conscientious effort to take it every day. Certain dals, certain lentils, very good way to include protein in your diet every single day. Now, as Indians, we eat dals every single day, but the protein that comes from the dal, I keep repeating that is not adequate. So we need to take good quality proteins, which I've shown you. Okay, certain vegetables which have protein like mushrooms. Okay, all these things will need to be included. Now, if I say your hair is a filament, fibrous filament made of protein, and 95% of hair is made of keratin, what do you think the balance 5% is made of? This is my second question to you. Let's chat. What is the second major component of hair. If 95% is protein, no idea, Vinay. Very good. Okay, if someone has any idea, zinc, great. Calcium, great. Great. One person was right here. Yes, it is fat. Okay. So balance 5% is made up of fat. And this 5% includes both saturated fat and unsaturated fat, which means again, hair needs a combination of two fats. Now, when we talk of saturated fat, best form of saturated fat for the hair will always, always, always remain coconut oil. Okay. Now, which coconut oil are we using? Are we just going to get parachute oil? Think about it. I'm not promoting any brand here, but let the coconut oil be extra virgin coconut oil, which is not processed. Anything that you process will take away the goodness and the unsaturated fat. Now, this is not a processed oil. This is a cold pressed oil coming from a very, very good source of fat like olive. Okay, but yes, you can use mustard oil. I am only talking what I'm consuming. Yes, and it is by far these are the good sources. But you can take mustard oil and sesame oil, which are not processed, and they go to avocado oil is also extremely good, but really not available much in India. That's why I didn't mention it. But eating avocado as a form of fat is good. You eat fat in the form of butter. You eat fat in the form of ghee. These are the right fats. These are the appropriate fats that your body will use this oil. Now, why do we need almond oil is extremely good. Why do we need these essential oils? Because lipids, as we call them, fats they are external stressors. Where your hair goes through external stresses, typically in the form of UV rays, and most importantly, we ladies play a lot of stunts with our hair. All our chemical treatments, even coloring every day, which has ammonium peroxide, basically wipes the hair off or removes the entire lipid portion of the hair. And that is why we need to constantly make sure that you giving your body the good fats that we require. Good fats, not any fat that you include inside. Okay, buying processed oils from the market is not going to work. Now, all this is for consumption. I have not spoken about local application because I'm coming to the application aspect of it. Yes, air pollution also affects. Now, I want to show you, I have not made my hair. If you want to be constantly in the hair growth anagen phase, or most of the growth cycle to be in the anagen phase, do you see some small hair growing here, short hair? That is because you make a conscious effort to reduce the exogen phase and be in the anagen phase by eating the right nutrients all the time. Now, what are the solutions? I told you about certain solutions, proteins and fats. I showed you the foods that are. But very often I am asked, do we need any vitamins for it? Yes, there are. What micronutrients will help hair growth? And typically now there are two basic vitamins that basically impact hair growth. We have been speaking about it for very long, and someone asked me, what are they? One is vitamin B, one is vitamin D. Now, which is vitamin B? It is vitamin B7, but very popularly known as biotin. Okay. Now, biotin is required for hair growth constantly. It's a vitamin that is required for the anogenic and the transitional growth cycle. When you take biotin, what are the foods that are rich in biotin? Again, the foods which are rich in biotin are very certain. Now, when I said it's a form of vitamin, it has to come from major vegetable sources. Spinach is a very good source of biotin. Cauliflower, broccoli, I don't have broccoli today at home, good sources of biotin. Okay. Carrot, good source of biotin. Tomatoes, good sources of biotin. Seeds, walnuts, almonds, seeds, like the best seed source is sunflower seeds and to some extent pumpkin seeds. Okay. Now, some are in the fridge, some are outside. I don't know where stuff is. But anyway, so now these are all sources of biotin. But what is most important is when even eggs is a very good source of biotin, meat is a very good source of biotin. But what happens is, friends, for hair growth, the requirement of biotin is very high. Your basic biotin, even if you eat 10 eggs, you get only close to per egg 10 micrograms of biotin. If you take 10 almonds, you get only 0.75 microgram, not even one full microgram of biotin. So it simply means sweet potato is a good source of biotin. Yes, ma'am, I didn't have it to show. Mushrooms is a good source of biotin. So there are many sources. But now remember the math here. The math is however much you eat. Biotin's first function is to help metabolize all your macronutrients. So whatever little you eat and you're getting only in micrograms will first go towards the major functions. And in that ladder, hair growth is somewhere right at the bottom, which simply means you need to eat a lot more of biotin if you want it for hair growth. It doesn't come just from food. But what will happen is first function is to metabolize major macronutrients. Second is it needs for the nervous system. Third major one is signaling, genetic signaling and nervous signaling. So when body will decide how much nutrient is present and first pass it on to its most important functions. So hair growth comes really low down, and that is why, friends, biotin and second vitamin D, these two combinations need to be replaced. And I often tell people, for your hair growth, you need minimum 5 milligrams, not micrograms. Now remember, you're eating in micrograms. Requirement for hair is in milligrams. How are you going to bridge that gap? 5 milligrams is a huge amount that you need. So now there are different ways that you take biotin with ellagic and quercetin. These are two antioxidants which help in release of biotin at a fast pace in the body. And if you need for hair growth, खाने से नहीं आएगा, आपको कुछ ना कुछ एक्स्ट्रा लेना पड़ेगा. बायोटिन का सप्लीमेंट कौन सा लेना है? Talk to someone who is there available with you, someone who's invited you here. Do not go to a next door pharmacy and buy it. And same applies for vitamin D. Vitamin D with K2 will make sure that after your important functions of D are done, bodily functions are done, then the D will be available for you to basically for your hair. And that is why we say only food provides 90%, but the balance big push comes from food provides only close to 20%. Balance big push will only come when you try and bridge that gap. And if you're seriously looking to make for your hair, skin, because all the phalanges, skin, and hair depend on biotin and vitamin D to a great extent, because with biotin and vitamin D, the cellular mechanisms start functioning at double the pace. And so, yes, will biotin arrest premature graying? Biotin will not arrest graying, but biotin will basically, there is enough evidence to show that it improves the quality and the strength of hair. So the regrowth period, it accelerates. Okay, and that is what we want. Premature graying per se, madam, is genetic. So graying will only happen because it's an entire question of pigmentation. So biotin and vitamin D, ask someone, how do we take it? Which one do we take it? Can it come from a source that helps absorption and bioavailability to the best possible level? What time? Basically, in the anything from morning to the middle of the day, biotin is great supplement. But again, my point is which, and the regrowth cap, well, the regrowth cap will happens throughout your life. You are growing till the age of 60 to 65. Now, there are genetics which are involved, which may stop growth. That typically male pattern stops growth. Male balding pattern up post 60 is where growth is stopped because of the hormone called testosterone. Okay, so that's why I said I haven't taken the male aspect of it, because that's another science completely. But predominantly, we female who love our hair need to basically make sure that you take a combination of good foods and biotin and vitamin D supplementation. Thank you.